In 1966, Chevrolet was hard at work developing a sport coupe that could compete with the runaway best-selling Mustang introduced by Ford in 1964. It was an ambitious project, and they gave the car an ambitious code name, Panther. When you hear the word Panther, your mind's eye conjures images of the shiny and sleek black cat moving low to the ground on big, strong paws. It is as mean and dangerous looking as it is beautiful, and one has no doubt of the power and speed that it commands. Never before has a production Camaro better evoked the spirit of its ancestral name, Panther, than it does in the 2017 ZL1. It couldn't be more fitting that this beast has been unleashed during the celebration of Camaro's 50th anniversary. After many years apart, I decided it was once again time to own a Camaro. Partly because I can now own one the way I've always wanted to, as a fun car that I didn't have to drive every day, but mostly because the Camaro team at Chevrolet simply knocked it out of the park with the 6th generation Camaro built on the new Alpha platform. Once I decided the Camaro would be my next car, the choice was clear on which it had to be. The ZL1 Camaro sits alone at the top of the Camaro line as the most powerful and track-ready car that Chevy has ever made. The supercharged 6.2-liter LT4 engine makes a staggering 650 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque. It pushes this 3,900 pounds of beauty from a dead stop to 60 miles an hour in just 3.5 seconds, and puts a quarter mile in the rear view in less than 11.5 seconds. This car is anything but all dressed up with nowhere to go. Oh, but dressed up she is, to the nines. There aren't too many options for the ZL1, but depending on which ones you check off the list, it'll cost you between $63,500 and about $70,000 roughly. The 2018s are likely to be priced nearly the same. On the outside of the car, it all starts with the sleek sculptured body of the new Alpha platform Camaro, where once again, the base level car is still a head-turner. But then the Camaro team turns it up to 11 by making the ZL1 an almost unmatched image of beauty and aggression. The front fascia is open and angry, pulling in as much air as possible to feed the hungry monster behind it. All that air not only feeds the furnace of the beast, but it cools it well by flowing through 11 intercoolers. That's right. This one goes to 11. So much air was required to make the numbers work that even the Chevy bowtie emblem had to be customized. This special hollowed-out version is lovingly dubbed the Flow-Tie. Below that, aggressive air dams and a chin splitter that's low enough to make a greenskeeper nervous may be beautiful, but are first and foremost functional. The results of thousands of hours in wind tunnels and on racetracks. Every gentle curve and bend of the sheet metal on this car was precision engineered to master the very air around it. Front aerodynamics and the rear spoiler are some of the overt ways the Camaro team manages downforce, but the side skirts and well-developed body curves also work as an orchestra to resculpt the air and move the Camaro through it like a ghost. Even the side mirror housings were aerodynamically engineered to create downforce. You know there's something special under the hood because there's something quite special on the hood itself. The heat extractor is made of 100% carbon fiber. The carbon fiber hood air extractor is actually designed to remove air from the engine compartment, not to provide cold air intake. But you might not know the true reason. It's not to keep the engine cool. It's to reduce lift by keeping the pressure low under the hood. Chevy paints it black by default, but as an option you can have the exposed carbon fiber weave under a clear coat. The aerodynamic roof is also standard, but a sunroof is optional. The ultimate option is the available but rarely seen convertible ZL1. If you like going topless, it doesn't get much nicer than that. Connecting this magnificent Alpha chassis to the road is a set of light aluminum alloy wheels painted a metallic graphite gray. 10 inches by 20 inches up front, wearing 285 30ZR20 rubber, and 11 by 20 inches in the back, wearing 305 30ZR20s. The rubber is Goodyear Eagle F1 Supercar Generation 3, a compound that was developed specifically for the ZL1. When you have a car capable of 200 miles an hour, you had better have some serious brakes. And Team Camaro gave us just that. With 15.4-inch vented discs and 6-piston Brembos up front, and a 14.4-inch 4-piston set in the back, the brakes bring the ZL1 from 60 to 0 in just 96 feet. And stay cool doing it. And you don't have to be a track rat to appreciate the need for good brakes. You never know when the real world is going to offer you a chance to test them out.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, jeez.
The connection to the road is further managed via a very sophisticated traction control system that uses ELSD, that's electronic slip differential, and the feedback to you comes via magnetic ride control that reads the feedback from the road 1,000 times per second and makes instantaneous adjustments. This makes the ride smooth when you need smooth and track stiff when you need that for corners. The driver can select from a menu of ride, traction, and steering settings that include snow, ice, tour, sport, and track. There's also an Easter egg mode called competition mode that opens access to things like launch control and the line lock. But the impressive design and construction of the new ZL1 doesn't end under the hood or with the beautiful exterior of the car. Open the driver's door and you immediately see that the price tag for top performance also includes top comfort and convenience. It all starts with the seats. Made by Recaro exclusively for the ZL1, these seats are aggressively bolstered to keep the driver and passenger in place during spirited driving, but not without comfort. Trimmed in black leather with perforated suede inserts, you'll notice the comfort before you test the support. Finished off with exclusive red stitching and wearing the ZL1 badge, these are the seats you'd expect in a production supercar. Oh, and did I mention that the powered front seats are heated and cooled? There's no excuse not to feel good while you look good. And finally, a memory system stores the settings for multiple drivers, and the easy exit feature is something that my old bones really appreciate. The rear seats offer minimal function for passengers, as has always been the case in a Camaro, but they are aggressively sculptured and nicely trimmed to complement the front. Depending on the paint color you choose for the ZL1, the seating is finished off with red seat belts to complement that pure motorsports atmosphere. For the tech-hungry driver or passenger, a wireless charging pad for your smartphone sits just rear of the center console. Hello and welcome to my 1,000-mile review of the 2017 Camaro ZL1. So I don't normally do car reviews, so this video might not be as polished or as interesting or as fun as some of the guys who do really good car review videos. So apologies. My regular viewers, sorry for the departure on content, but I hope you'll enjoy it if you like cars. No burnouts in this video, I'm afraid, so I apologize for that right up front. Eventually, I will do that, but I don't know, I'm still enjoying seeing a little bit of tread on these tires for the moment. So I just hit 1,000 miles. I'm on my way actually to do a photo shoot, and if I am successful and those pictures and little video clips come out the way I hope they do, then you'll see them because I will incorporate them into this review video. Speaking of technology, there's little, if anything, to be desired in the Camaro ZL1. Full Bluetooth connectivity is standard and a breeze to set up. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility means complete integration for your smartphone in the vehicle.
I don't know what display
Sirius
it
XM
is.
radio is standard with a full 1-year free subscription, and all your audio is delivered to you through the Bose premium sound system. The 8-inch touchscreen is crisp and clear and angled slightly downward to prevent glare. The Chevrolet MyLink system provides all this and much more via the touch of a button, touch of a screen, or voice commands. Navigation is one of the few options for the ZL1. Beyond infotainment, the technology continues into the functional, the practical, and the downright safe. The head-up display can be set to show the driver-preferred information and can be tuned for brightness and elevation of display. This keeps your eyes forward while providing you the critical data you want, even navigation information if you choose. The backup camera in this Camaro is the best I've had in any vehicle. It shows a high-definition view of what's behind you and can also provide tracking lines to help you guide perfectly into that space. In combination with the proximity sensors that'll warn you if you approach an object, there's almost no chance you'll scratch your baby while parking it. Safety aids and sensors will warn you of an object in your blind spot, which is very welcome in the Camaro, which has generous blind spots. You'll also be warned of approaching traffic from the right or the left behind you if you put the car in reverse. If all of this isn't enough luxury for you, add a heated Alcantara-wrapped steering wheel, auto-dimming mirrors, automatic headlights, dual-zone climate control, HomeLink, a virtual light show of interior LED that offers 24 colors in the dash, console, and the doors. Well, you get the idea. Unlike the last Z28 that Chevy offered, the ZL1 does not sacrifice comfort and convenience for power. You really can have it all. And just in case you buy a ZL1 to be your daily driver, or at least want to use it to haul your gear around, like all the cameras and audio and tripod and cleaning kits that I had to haul just to make this video, the trunk is actually a generous and useful size. The opening is a bit small, but there's room for a lot of stuff in there, 9 cubic feet in all. The rear back seat can also be folded down, offering even more cargo space. So here I am rattling off specifications and performance numbers like I work for GM marketing or something. All that information is certainly important to a car review, but for me, the real magic of the Camaro ZL1 isn't that it's a track monster or that I can put my local tire store owner's kids through college if I want to. For me, it's about how fun this car is to drive, in just about any situation on almost any road. From the minute I back it out of the garage until the minute I pull it back in, I have a smile on my face. The way the car feels when you drive it makes you feel confident. You know you have all the power you need. You know the tires and brakes are going to help you manage it. The steering is tight and responsive like no other car I've ever owned. And I've owned some really nice ones. I've yet to really test the boundaries of the Bose premium sound system, because listening to the supercharger whine and the exhaust rumble are usually all the music I need. And I have to admit that I do love the way the car looks. Having owned at least one of almost every generation Camaro, I feel the design team reached the pinnacle of perfection with this body style. Who knows what the future may hold, but I don't know how they're going to improve on this. Still true to its heritage in every way, it still manages to appear sleeker than its dimensions would indicate, while at the same time keeping a wide and low stance. Just like its development namesake, the Panther, ready to strike. And I have to say, I don't mind seeing people's heads on a swivel as I drive by. And I don't mind that it takes me a half hour to get gas because of the crowd that forms around the car. And yeah, if you ask me nicely, I will step aside so that you can get a picture of it without me in the way. I completely understand all of that. Someone made the statement that the 2017 Camaro ZL1 has a presence in person that photographs just can't capture. I can't put it any better than that. Oh, and there are also built-in system timers for 0 to 60, 0 to 100, and quarter mile that let you log and improve your performance. The system will store your best runs. Add to that launch control and line lock function that allow the Camaro to spin hundreds of dollars worth of rubber off your rear tires in just seconds, and you get the feeling that maybe the Camaro team spent a lot of time unsupervised. So far I've focused most of my modification on the aesthetics of the back of the car, because after all, that's the part that most people are going to see. For a moment. All right, so I just did some photo shoots in a parking garage, in and on a parking garage, and now I know where there's an opportunity for another photo. That would be a photo opportunity or a photo op. So I'm going to go see about that. I'm going to go see if I can find this helicopter and have him hover over my car for a photo. Speaking of things I really, really love about this Camaro ZL1, and the list is long, one of my favorite features is the rev match, active rev match. These two paddles right here on the steering wheel. If you have a manual transmission, you see paddle shifters and you go, hey, what the hell is that? Well, that's what that is. But if you happen to be like me and you are not a highly experienced heel-toe downshifter, and I am not, active rev match makes it feel like you know how to drive. Much better than you really do. Oh man. All right, well, let's see if we can get this thing parked just right here. Thinking maybe this would be about right. So I know some people get their ZL1 and immediately start modifying it. I'm really not that much of a modder. Except in cosmetics and stuff. I'm more of an aesthetics person, so I like the car to have a certain look. This one came with just about as much look as you could want, but there were a few changes that I did want to make. I did the 1LE blackout rear light fixtures, both the tail lights and the third brake light. Shout out to that GM parts guy for really coming through and helping me get those parts. They did a great job there. The prices were great. Customer service was fantastic. So again, big shout out to that GM parts guy. Definitely a good place to go for your GM parts. So the first thing I did, in case you didn't see that video, was I got clear film paint protection, or clear bra as it's known, put on the front of the car and some of the other spots for protection. I did that right away. So there was no question in my mind who was going to do that. I've had Accurate window tinting do all my film work for years and years. So I took it to them, and of course they did a fantastic job. I have since taken it back and had my windows tinted. So the back window and both side windows are tinted at 30%. Lumar ceramic, whatever the top of the line Lumar ceramic is, 30% tint, and it really does make a difference. So thank you again to my good friends at Accurate for getting it done. To me, this car, for me, is really all about just enjoying driving it. Not so much like I'm doing right now on a straight ahead freeway, but really enjoying the back roads and trying to find a twisty road here and there. That's really what this car is for me. Getting it out on a weekend and just having a good time with it. I took this car to a car show. I was invited by some people who knew me and knew I had it to bring it to a car show, and I did, and came away with a little trophy that was very nice and I'm real proud of. So that was very cool. I may take it to some more car shows just for fun. That really becomes more about just hanging out with other car people and looking at other people's cars than anything else. So about the only thing I'm thinking of potentially doing in the way of additional modification would be maybe some more carbon fiber. If I do add some more carbon fiber, it's going to be go big or go home. So if I do that, probably there will be a follow-up video. Okay, so if you watch my channel, you know I usually do videos called First 100. All right, this one's called First 1,000, or it might be called First 1,000. I don't know yet what the title will be, but First 1,000 miles in this car, and it seemed appropriate. 1,000 miles in a car is about like 100 rounds through a gun, right? Just sort of a beginning to break in type of situation. And speaking of which, now I'm 500 miles away from break-in, and as soon as I get this thing broken in, I'll get all the fluids changed, and then maybe I'll go do some fun stuff. If I do some fun stuff, I guess I'll turn the cameras on for that too. Thanks for watching. So I really should check out this Bose system, see if there's anything good. Sounds good.